Let me ask you a question. Do you think that an RV can have too much storage? Let me know in the comment section. Welcome to HB RV Lifestyle, the podcast. I am the host, the Honey Badger, here to give it to you straight and transparent about the RV business, as well as other things. Today is going to be a very different episode because I've run into some folks in my journey the last 2 weeks, and we've talked about full-time RVing. But one of the things that keeps coming up is I don't have room for all of my stuff. There isn't enough storage. Even on 2025 product, I met someone that bought a Brinkley, I think it was a 3100Z, and as you guys know, I'm not the biggest fan of Brinkley. I don't think they're the best ever built or anything of that nature. And the customer actually feels the same way I do, but his wife loved the interior, so he had to buy it. But one of the positives that I said about Brinkley is it doesn't feel like they put any waste of space. Like, it always feels like where there should be a cabinet, there is a cabinet. And when I was talking to this guy's wife, she said that there just isn't enough storage inside this Brinkley. And I sat there and I'm like, wait a minute, you got to be kidding me. There's storage everywhere in this fifth wheel. And then it dawned on me. This industry has really screwed itself up on every side of it. From the manufacturer, the vendors, the consumers, yes, the consumers, the dealers. It's gotten so out of whack in the last 15 years that we're starting to see a major problem in a lot of the brands. Specifically, we're going to talk Grand Design RV, Frame Failure / Frame Flex when it comes to this. But there's other means, like, for example, if you go to Dustin Simpson's Facebook page and his YouTube channel, you're going to see a lot of toy haulers are starting to show stress cracks in the I-beam chassis. You're starting to see a few other bigger fifth wheels starting to show stress cracks around the axle area on the I-beam chassis. Fixable stuff, nothing to panic about, anything of that nature. But it just goes to show you, how much storage do you really need to either be a weekend warrior in this lifestyle or to full-time RV in this lifestyle? Now, I'm going to give away something to you guys, okay, that I probably shouldn't give away, but I'm going to give it away anyway. I've had to downsize my life to where I'm basically living out of one suitcase and 2 backpacks. I have a laptop, I have a cell phone, and I have a couple of microphones and a couple things of that nature. I probably downsized 75% of my life because right now I'm mainly on the road. Okay? In fact, I'm going to start filming inventory again at dealership lots. Side note, apparently, whatever beef the executive had with me has been squashed. So, breaking news. Apparently, it's been squashed. Apparently, it was squashed for this person. I'll put it like that. Okay? I'm now getting phone calls again. I don't have a job in the industry, but I'm getting phone calls again. Something that wasn't happening for the last, 3 months? So obviously, whatever beef there was, it's gone. And I'm happy about that because I talked to a couple of executives at the manufacturing level, and then we're going to get back to this the storage thing. I talked to a couple of executives at the RV industry, RV manufacturer, RV vendor level, and most of them said There's nothing wrong with this podcast. In fact, a lot of them enjoy this podcast. And actually, I've gotten a request. My request is from 3 executives at the RV factory level made one request. Please get back on Spotify so they can listen to the podcast as they're driving on their car. I'm like, okay, I'll eventually get back to it. Probably starting January 1st, 2025, I'll go back on Spotify, Amazon, and stuff like that. Okay, getting back to the storage thing. So I've downsized my life pretty dramatically. My wife has dramatically downsized her life. My mother, who isn't a full-time RVer, but my mother went from a huge piece of property in one state and had to make tough decisions to move to a big property up in another state, but had to make tough decisions to downsize her life because the house that she was moving into was smaller. So how do we do all that? Okay. Well, let's start at the manufacturing level. Let's start at the RV factory level. Do you really need these big, heavy appliances? Do you really need a dishwasher? Do you really need a washer and dryer? Do you really need a big, huge residential refrigerator? If I told you that your frame problems, floor problems, everything of that nature would be solved if you eliminated 2 out of the 3 heaviest appliances in the rig, or you went to low profile, lighter weight air conditioners at the same time. Could you do it? Most of you will say no. I have to have a washer dryer. So here's what I'm getting to, because this is the point about the manufacturing level. When the RV factories started putting this heavy ass stuff inside the RVs, it started adding to the dry weight. Now, for them to get the dry weight down, they had to start taking other stuff out. They had to figure out how to lighten the weight. Okay, so in this case, what they did was they started using cheaper material, lighter weight material for your cabinetry, for your shelving, for your bed frames, for your shower frames where the P-trap goes. Anybody have that issue where they stepped into the shower and the water leaks into the coach? I've had that. It's because the framing around the P-trap is garbage, right? So innovation. Oh, and by the way, now we're adding all this solar, these lithium batteries. So you're adding all this weight at the manufacturing level. And then you're adding all this cabinetry, which gives the illusion that you can pack this fifth wheel, pack this travel trailer. They give you this big, wide underbelly storage on these toy haulers, these travel trailers, these fifth wheels, etc. So there's an illusion at the RV manufacturer level that you could just pack the shit out of this RV and there's not going to be a problem. Okay? No, I'm not letting the manufacturers off the hook about frame failure, frame flex, anything of that nature. What I am saying is there is an illusion. Look at the Grand Design Solitude 390 RK and the copycats of that same floor plan. Look how much underbelly storage. Look how much pass-through storage. Look at the Palomino River Ranch by Columbus. Look at all of that basement storage. There's an illusion. Holy crap, look what we can stuff in there. Now, the reality is, if you're going to park it in one spot, you could probably overload the sucker and not have as many problems. If you're never going to move it, no problem. But just imagine you completely load those suckers up. You don't pay attention to what your real weight is. You don't go and have it weighed when you load it. You're going down these crappy roads, going down the United States. The pin boxes are not the greatest, and of course, some manufacturers don't want you to use the Gen Y hitch. just imagine all of those things and the illusion that the manufacturer gave you that you could overload this thing or overstuff this thing. I think that there is such thing as too much storage. And I didn't realize it until I've been running into people that are full-time RVing. Okay? I didn't realize it till I had discussions with Dustin Simpson, which I'm eventually going to get him on this podcast, guys. I think him and I are going to have a good time. I'm going to try to get up there either next week or the week after. Watching Dustin's YouTube channel, his Facebook page, and seeing these stress cracks around the axle areas of the I-beam chassis of these toy haulers and these travel trailers, it starts to make me realize that everything at the manufacturer level isn't always about the quality, it's about the illusion. And not the illusion of quality, but the illusion of how much crap you can pack into an RV. Okay. Now, on the consumer side, I'm not giving you off the hook either, because there's simple math. Now, a lot of you do your homework, and a lot of you realize that that illusion exists, right? And you have made choices based on math, not on look. I'll give you a great example. Ran into a guy that bought a triple axle. So he basically sold his truck, his F-250, bought a 4500 Ram dually, bought a Riverstone dual axle Riverstone fifth wheel, because the difference between GVWR and the dry weight was about 3,700 pounds. So by the time you add water, by the time he added food, and what he was doing, his wife, by the way, his wife didn't like the look of the Riverstone. She liked the Mobile Suites better. But the Mobile Suites didn't have as much cargo capacity. So he sold her on, this is why we're going to buy the Riverstone. The Riverstone at the time had a bigger cargo carrying capacity. Not having any frame problems, not having any drive problems. The only thing he told me is he upgraded to the MoreRide suspension instead of the axle. He also added 2 more solar panels, 2 more batteries. And what he did was he took his truck and trailer, or truck and fifth wheel, down to the scale to go see how much it weighed with all their stuff. And they were 150 pounds overweight. And he told his wife, we need to figure out how to get rid of 150 plus pounds. In fact, his goal was to be 500 pounds under GVWR when traveling with the truck. So he took out 650 pounds worth of stuff. And they've been traveling now for 2 years and haven't had any major problems. They've had little problems here and there, but nothing dramatic or Armageddon level. So what it goes to show you is there's a lot of smoke and mirrors and illusion in this industry. You have to look beyond the lipstick. You have to. No matter how you look at it, you have to look beyond all the glamour. So I just watched last night, I watched the movie The Prestige again, and it reminded me, The Prestige, like they say it starts with the pledge, right? So the pledge by the manufacturers, we're going to put all this cabinetry, and we're going to put all these residential appliances, we're going to put this dishwasher and this stackable washer dryer, we're going to put these big ass water tanks, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. That's the pledge, right? And then there's the turn. And the turn is, now they're going to put all this lighting and all this like lipstick on. It's like putting all this makeup on a pig, right? And that's the way I put it, at least. And then they present it and people walk in like, wow, right? And then there's a magic trick, which is the Prestige, and folks, guess what? The GVWR is 15,000 pounds, which means it's 3/4 ton towable, or it's 12,000 pounds, so it's half ton towable, whatever the case may be. And that's the prestige, right? That's the magic trick. And I'm not bagging. If you're a manufacturer, I'm not bagging on you. If you're Grand Design, I'm not giving you shit, okay? What I'm doing is trying to open people's eyes that there is such thing as too much storage, okay? That's why I asked you at the beginning, do you think that there's such thing as too much storage in an RV? Yes, there is. Folks, even if you're gonna full-time, you don't need your entire house to go with you. I'm gonna give you something about washer dryer in an RV, okay? Washer dryer in an RV is one of the worst things and most waste of money things and waste of weight things you can put, in my opinion. And the reason why is because, remember, I've lived in RVs. I've lived in RVs that have a washer dryer. I've had ones that have combo washer dryers, and I've stayed in ones that have stackable washer dryers. And guess what I still end up doing once a week? Going to the laundromat. Why? Because those washer dryers are they're just not worth their salt. You can throw maybe 4 to 5 pieces of laundry in there. And yeah, it would be good for like underwear. Okay? It would be good for, you know, a couple of pairs of jeans, maybe a couple of t-shirts. But what a waste of water for just a few items. What a waste of propane to use the dryer, or a waste of electricity if you're using one of those new fancy electric ones. What a waste of money. What a waste of weight. I mean, imagine if you took that washer dryer out of the fifth wheel, out of the motorhome, how much weight could you add? How much weight could you save? And I got the perfect thing for you for a dishwasher. It's called a husband. Okay? A husband is the perfect dishwasher, or my favorite, paper plates. Because you know what's cool about paper plates? Paper plates can be burned in the campfire. It can be used. You can, we're done eating, throw it in the campfire. So the only dishes you have to wash are your day-to-day cups, your day-to-day pots and pans, and your day-to-day silverware. And you're done. Just get your husband to do it. He's the perfect dishwasher. Okay? That saves so much weight. But the only way the manufacturers are going to stop putting that stuff in there is if you stop buying it. Right? That's the reality. The more you tell the RV manufacturers to keep putting this heavy ass crap inside these fifth wheels, there's 3 things that are going to happen. Number 1, the fifth wheels are going to get priced out of affordability, because for them, in combination for them to put together a frame, a suspension package, and everything of that nature to make it the cargo capacity greater, it's going to send the cost of that fifth wheel through the roof. Then you need a big ass truck to tow that fifth wheel down the road. So in a way, the RV manufacturers are in between a rock and a hard place. You don't want to go spend 150 grand on the truck and 200 grand on the fifth wheel, because only 1% of the RV buyers can afford to do that. So how do you keep everybody else in? You keep doing the same things over and over again that are causing the problems. So this starts with 2 things, I think. Number 1, we have to come to a realization that we can't overload these things. We can't stuff these things full of crap. We can't take our house with us. Okay? We have to make sacrifices. Or if you don't want to make sacrifices, go pay for a big storage facility and stuff all your stuff in there. Take the bare minimum. You can always buy stuff as you go. Look, I have a little tiny lotion. I don't have a big thing because I can't fit it anywhere. I can't fit a big, huge thing and all the clothes I need. I mean, we just have to come to the realization that if we're going to do this lifestyle full time, or we're going to be a snowbird, we can't take our house, our full house with us in these bloody fifth wheels, travel trailers, and toy haulers. Motorhomes, maybe. Okay, but that's a whole different price point, whole different buyer. So just food for thought for you. It's not something to get you mad or upset or get you to unsubscribe and get all mad at me, because I know a couple people are going to get mad at me over this, but it's food for thought, not an indictment or forgiveness for frame failure. Okay, this is something for there's always two sides to a story. There's always two sides to an argument. Okay, I try to give both sides of the argument. I'm not on, I mean, I get pissed at the manufacturers, don't get me wrong, but at some point we do have to recognize a few things. If we as a lifestyle, us as a consumer, us as a dealer, us as the folks that are dealing with this on a day-to-day basis, if we have expectations where we don't need a big residential refrigerator, we don't need a big stackable washer dryer, we don't need a big, huge, wide open bin for underbelly storage. If we can get to the point where the Gen Y hitch is a normal thing, if we can get to the point where the manufacturers on an order can offer a better suspension package, maybe some people order it, some people won't. If we can get all those things put together, I truly believe that we have an opportunity to make the industry still affordable. So what I mean by affordable is if you're got a 3/4 ton Ram truck, 2,500, it's paid off. It's easier for you to buy a fifth wheel that matches, or a travel trailer that matches that truck's capacity, than going spending 150 grand on a brand new truck, right? So how do we make it more affordable? We make it more affordable by understanding that less is more. Less is more. You can always get containers, fill them up, and put them inside the fifth wheel while driving down the road. You don't need all the cabinetry. You don't need all the big underbelly storage. You don't need all of that. Proof positive is look at these mini loft destination trailers. Look at them. They don't have a lot of storage. They have the residential appliances, but they don't have a lot of cabinets, and they have no underbelly storage. And yet people are buying them left and right. One of the hottest selling trailers in the industry is those mini lofts. So it just goes to show you, you don't need the illusion. You need something practical. Until next time, toolkit and sense of humor, folks.